Hi, everyone, and welcome to the UFC 206 Holloway vs. Pettis conference call. UFC 206 takes place Saturday, December 10th, live from the Air Canada Centre in Toronto, Canada. This will mark the first time the UFC has been back to Toronto since September of 2013. On today's call, we have number 3 ranked featherweight Max Blessed Holloway and former lightweight champion and current number 6 ranked 145-pounder Anthony Showtime Pettis. They will face off for the interim featherweight title and the right to face current undisputed champion Jose Aldo sometime in 2017 to unify the title. And with that, I'll turn it over for the first questions for Max and Anthony.
And if you would like to ask a question, you may signal by pressing star 1 on your telephone keypad. And we will take our first question from Dave Debris of Post Media News.
Thanks for the time. Question for the both of you. What's the initial reaction when the promotion comes to you and says main event interim title? Max, you want to start?
It's just another fight, man. It is what it is, I thought we was going to get bumped up for to the main event anyway, do 2 extra rounds, but now we get to do 2 extra rounds, and one of us get to walk home with a shiny gold belt. So, we're here to fight. We're professionals. I'm a professional. I've been getting ready. You got to be ready for opportunities like this all the time, especially lately with the way UFC stuff been happening, all kind of crazy stuff. So, we're always ready. We've been ready, and December 10th, I can't wait to show the world what's up.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just it's just another fight. I've been getting ready for Max Holloway the whole time. 2 extra rounds for us to put on a show in front of Toronto. I feel like it's our job to make this card stand out and make this main event a big part of this Toronto card.
All right, and then just kind of a follow up, Max. You, in your words, crazy stuff going on around the UFC. Have you guys heard the criticism about this fight being, slotted in as an interim title bout? Just a trickle down and some criticism saying that shouldn't be interim title fight. Main event fine, but why do it for the interim title? If you've heard that criticism, I'm curious what your response is to that.
I saw a lot of good versus the bad. It outweighed the bad, and it is what it is. It's always gonna have its haters, and haters gonna hate. We're gonna the show still needs to go on, and we're doing it. It's I was supposed to be booked with the interim title Jose Aldo. At 205 they were talking about, and was even supposed to be here at 206. So. I don't know what's going on with that guy's mind, whatever. You need to get his mind straight. But all I know, I got my mind straight. I got Pettis on December 10th, and now I'm looking forward to a fight.
All right. Anthony?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't even look into any of that stuff anymore, man. I've been a champion before. I know how these belts work. Once you get a title shot, it doesn't really happen to a lot of guys. You got to be in the right position in the right time, and it worked out for us. We don't decide who's fighting for the title. Me and Max would agree to fight 5 rounds without a title, but if the title in front of us, you're even that much better of a fight.
Okay. All right. Thanks, you guys, very much for the time.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
And we will take our next question from Neil Davison of the Canadian Press.
Thank you. My question follows up really on what Anthony was saying. I wonder, does the interim championship mean anything to either of you, or is really the big prize just a chance to fight for the undisputed title? Well, does that interim belt mean anything? Maybe Max?
Well, yeah, definitely. It means that we're getting a definite shot at the official title of 145 pounds. I mean, like I said, title shots don't come a lot in the sport, and select few guys give them. And this right here is a fight for both of us to guarantee ourselves a shot at the 145 pound title division.
Anthony?
That was exactly what he said, man. Exactly what Anthony said, man. It is what it is. It's the water at this fucking division was super murky. Now it's super clear. The winner of this fight get to fight for undisputed title, and it's always great to have extra cash in your money in your pocket too. So it means a lot. So we see what happens. And take care of business December 10, and it's a straight shot after that.
Thanks. Sorry about the confusion.
And next, we will hear from Damon Martin of Fox Sports.
First question is for Anthony. Anthony, I'm kind of curious, now that you're in your second training camp for featherweight, can you kind of give me a sense of what you thought of your first performance at featherweight, and what is the biggest difference going into this second fight?
Yeah, first performance at featherweight was was just a trial, I guess. I went in there, I fought, Charles Oliveira, great game opponent, great jiu-jitsu. And the weight was the thing that I had to figure out, how I make 145 pounds and how do I feel good doing it. We felt the first time going around, the power and the speed is definitely a difference. From 155 to 145, the need for power isn't as much as the need for speed. So we're definitely focused our camp on being quick and being agile and making sure we can go 25 minutes at 145 pounds.
I know you had to face a lot of, I guess demons maybe is the best word for it, but you had to face a lot of ups and downs after that 3-fight losing streak. And the last fight was very important, but how big is this fight for you and for your legacy to go out there and win and kind of show everybody that you are back, that you are the same Anthony Pettis that went out there and was the lightweight champion? I mean, is there a little bit of that going into this fight for you?
I mean, this fight was big before this main event happened and the interim title happened. This fight was the number one guy in 145 pounds. I mean, Max is on a huge fight win streak. Fighting a guy like that puts you right in the title contention. That's what I was, coming into this fight as. And now it's a guaranteed title shot, so it's even that much more important. But yeah, I never lost 3 times in my life, let alone one time. It was all decisions. I just it's one of them things I had to figure it out. I think you got to go through these lows to get to the highs, and I'm excited where I'm at right now. Great training camp, great opponent in front of me, and Toronto crowd to perform in front of me.
Where did you spend your majority of your time training? I know you had been out at Jackson's a little bit. I know you're back in Milwaukee. Where did you spend the majority of this training camp?
I spent the whole training camp here in Milwaukee. I got back to just the roots of what got me into where I was at. So the whole training camp here in Milwaukee, it actually hasn't been bad weather either. For November, it's been pretty good.
Was there any? I don't want to say falling out, maybe the wrong word, but what happened with Jackson's? Was it just a change of mind for you, or?
No, I went to Jackson's for the sparring, and I think that's what everybody didn't really understand why I was going there. I went for the sparring, and then I met Greg Jackson, and he was a tremendous coach, great mindset for mixed martial arts. So that's why I had him in the corner for Barboza. But yeah, I mean, New Mexico is a far ways away from me. My hometown is Milwaukee. My daughter is here. My family's here. My gyms are here. So. That's the only reason why I went out there. But, I would definitely go out there and, spar again. It's just, for me, it's just Milwaukee's where I'm game planning for this one.
I know you've kind of mentioned this a little bit going into this fight, and your focus is featherweight right now, but I just want to be clear. You've said your days at lightweight are not done. You do intend on going back to lightweight, and I'm just curious because now Conor is the champion up there. I mean, is that still something you'd like to pursue, winning back that title at lightweight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the sport to be a champion, and I think, challenging myself at 145 pounds was the goal, why I dropped down 145 pounds. I got some work to do down here, and after, I get this work done down here, yeah, I got some fights that I need to avenge at 155 pounds.
Awesome. Thanks, Anthony.
No problem.
And ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, that is *1 to ask a question. And we will take our next question from Akhilesh Ganavarapu of the Ringside View.
Hey guys, greetings from India. I have a couple of questions for Pettis to start things off. Firstly, Anthony, as you just said, your debut at 145 raised quite a few eyebrows when a photo of yours started making rounds during the fight week. How difficult or challenging is it for you to cut down to 145? Or is it something that has just been exaggerated?
Yeah, I know, it's definitely exaggerated. I think, the first time I didn't prep my body as best as I could. I thought it would be a lot easier than it was. This time around, I have my nutritionist out with me for the last 7 weeks. I feel like I've done this weight cut the right way this time. And, we'll see December 10th how it goes. But every weight cut's tough. I mean, no matter what, a weight cut's a weight cut. So, I don't feel like it's impossible for me to make that weight, and it's not out of reach. I've done it once. I'm going to do it again December 10th, and I'll see how healthy I can stay down here.
All right. And you've already talked about the interim title on the MMA. But what are your thoughts on getting back into the title picture, where many people believe you deserve to be, especially after your impressive victory against Oliveira?
Yeah, fighting a guy like Max Holloway definitely, makes that case more strong, I guess. Being Oliveira, everybody's like, yeah, he won one fight. Max Holloway, the guy's on a tear right now, and probably the next guy in line for a title shot at 145 pounds. That's why I put I set my goals on him. I want to fight Max Holloway and get that the position he's in. So he was game. He took the fight, and now here we are. 2 weeks out, week and a half out from our fight.
All right, fantastic. I have a couple of questions for Holloway as well. Max, many feel that this fight has been long overdue for you, especially considering the fact that the division was dominated for years by Jose, and you had other perennial title contenders floating around. So how does it feel to finally get a crack at the title, albeit this is just for the interim championship?
It feels good, but like I said, man, it is what it is, man. It's I wasn't getting all butthurt about it. I understand this is a business, and this opportunity arose, and I'm glad I'm in the position to take it. Every single fight, man, is a new fight. I go in there thinking I'm 0-0. I'm going to try and get 1-0. That's the mindset you gotta have in this game. Too much people out here thinking that they're old stuff in this life. You ain't old shit, So go out there, prove your word, and do the damn thing. And that's what I get to do. Come December 10th.
Right, and you also faced who's who in the division coming into this fight. So what are your thoughts on the state of the 145-pound division?
It's clear, man. The water was murky. Like I said before, the water was very murky. Now it's super clear, After this, we got a number one contender, and we get to fight for the undisputed title. So, it's super clear now, and we see what happens. We see what happens after December 10th, and I think it clears up a lot of stuff.
All right, and Anthony is one of the most well-rounded fighters in the UFC today. So what do you make of him as an opponent, and how do you see this fight play out?
This guy was a champion before. He's a former champion. He defended the belt a bunch of times, and he's one of the best guys in the world for a while now. So I look forward to the opportunity to be in the cage, the same cage with a guy like that. And it's time to show people that I'm one of those guys. I walk around and I tell myself that I'm the best in the world, and come December 10th, I get the chance to prove to the world.
All right, outstanding. Thank you for your time, guys.
And next, we will hear from Oscar Willis of MMAWeekly.com.
Hi, guys. This is a question for both of you. You mentioned at the beginning of the call that this was originally scheduled for 3 rounds. I was wondering, how big a difference is the extra 2 rounds now that you're scheduled for 5?
Yeah, I fought 5 rounds. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
It's what he said. We all get ready for 5. We all get ready for 5 rounds. We don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what's gonna uprise, and we're just in the right place at the right time. We're professional athletes. This is our job. This is what we do. We get ready. We get ready for everything, and I think so. You're gonna see two guys that was ready for 5-5. So come December 10th.
Yeah, I think the 5 minute, the extra 2 rounds is for the fans, man. I think that, everybody wants to see this matchup. We both come to bring exciting fights. We have a deep tool bag, and you got extra 10 minutes of me and Max trying to prove the case of who's better. And I think that's the fans win with that one.
Thank you. And just a second question. Obviously, your next fight will be against Jose Aldo, whoever the winner is. How soon would both of you like to fight after this? Jose said around February or March for him. Is that a realistic turnaround, or would you prefer to have a bit more time off? I guess we'll start with Max for that one.
Yeah, we see it happens. That motherfucker got, he got diagnosed with that fucking pussyitis that he's been fucking having lately, and whenever he wants the vaccine, he can come and get it. So we see what happens. I don't know. I got a tough task in me. I got my hands full with Anthony Pettis, December 10th. That's all I'm focused on. And then we can worry when Jose Aldo wants his shots.
Yeah, same with me, man. I'm not focused on Jose Aldo. I'm not focused on who has the real belt or what. I got my task in front of me. I got a week and a half to go. I've been eating, sleeping, drinking this fight. So that's all I'm focused on is December 10th. And once we get past that, we'll see what comes about.
Cool, thank you. And this is just the last one to follow up on Max. You've mentioned a couple of times that you were supposed to get a fight with Jose at 205 or 206. Is there a sense of frustration that you haven't got that fight?
Nah, man. It is what it is, man. This guy, he's over here talking about fighting this and that and whatever and blah blah. He wants to fight. Motherfucker had a fight. He didn't take it. Now it's me and Pettis, and now it's time to go out there and and put on a show for the Canadians and the Toronto fans and the world. It's gonna be a great night, man. Tune in December 10th. You guys are gonna see some fireworks. It's gonna be an amazing night.
Okay, thank you very much.
Next, we will take a question from Jeffrey Harris of 4-1 Mania MMA.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us, and congratulations on being promoted to the main event for the interim title. For Anthony Pettis, do you see any tricky parts of Max Holloway's game that have made him such a dominant force at featherweight ahead of this fight?
Yeah, most definitely. I watched a lot of his fights. I'm definitely a fan of the sport, and I've seen the guy fight. He comes with some intensity, and he has a deep tool bag. He's not just a tough guy. Or he has the jiu-jitsu, he has the striking, he has the flash. So I think it's a game opponent for me. And these are the type of fights that get me excited. These are the type of fights that I get to go in there and perform.
And for Max, what do you think of Anthony Pettis' game as of late, and what do you see going into this fight and how you two match up?
Oh man, it's great, man. Like I said, he is a former champion. He got jiu-jitsu. He's flashy too, and like you said, man, this is a fight. This is a fight that people wanted to see. It's a fight that fans want to see, and this is a fight that the fans are gonna get. Everything you expect. I think it's gonna happen in this fight, and I'm excited to the challenge. You're fighting guys like this. This guy he's been the top of the heap for a long time. And I get to go out there and prove my worth. And come December 10th, the fans is gonna be the real winners.
And last question for both fighters: how much does it change training camp to find out this close to the fight that instead of 3 rounds you're going to be fighting for 5 rounds? Do you already prep ahead of time for a hard fight that maybe could go even longer, or does it radically change the camp? I mean, because we're less than 2 weeks out, so I'm just curious how that might change training camp for both of you. So, and thank you.
Yeah, it doesn't change training camp for me much at all. I've been getting ready for Max Holloway the whole time. I've been studying his game. I've been studying his moves. I've been studying everything he does. So, like I said before, I think we answered this question before. It's just 10 more extra minutes for us to prove who's the better fighter that night. And the fans are definitely going to be in for a treat for 2 guys that come out there and bang and then throw the moves that we throw and come with the intensity we come with. And you put a title on the line, it's just that much more enticing for both of us.
Yeah, what he said, man. We're professionals. We're ready for everything, and we get 10 more extra minutes to show the world how fun a fight between me and Pettis can be. So, I'm excited for the opportunity. I'm excited to be in this stuff. It's like the nickname, man. I'm blessed, man. I can't wait to go out there and just get this thing done.
And next, we will take a question from Kill Dansby of Black Sports Online.
Hello. My first question is for both Max and Anthony. Is there any disappointment knowing that Conor is no longer at the end of the line in the division? We've seen people like Nate Diaz become stars overnight by beating Conor McGregor. We've seen the paycheck that the challengers demand when fighting him. And to be honest, he is the biggest star in the sport. Is it disappointing now that people look and say Conor will never come back to the division, or that you may not get the chance to prove yourself against a fighter like Conor? Max, start off with you.
Man, I've been telling you guys, I got Pettis in front of me, so I'm not gonna be thinking of passing him. I got people in this sport. They start talking about, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and blah blah blah, and then they start stumbling. I ain't trying to stumble. I'm 0-0. I'm going for 1-0. It's the past is the past or whatever, and I got a present. And December 10th is the present, and we gotta fight, and I gotta get past that guy. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We see what happens. It's me. Pettis was a 55er, and I only turned 25 coming up this Sunday. So I'm growing and stuff. So who knows? You might see me up in a higher weight class, and We see though. But like I said, man, Pettis is on my radar. I'm only focused on Pettis, and December 10th, we gotta get the damn thing done, and then we can answer all these questions.
Yeah, for me,
Big
man,
question for you, Ed.
Conor McGregor, he it is what it is. He's done a great deal, duty for the sport. I mean, he's definitely brought the sport to a bigger light than it's ever been. But before him and after him, I'm still trying to fulfill my legacy of becoming a 2-division world champion. I did 155 pounds. I'm working my way to 145 pounds. It definitely happened a lot quicker than I expected. But I'm game. I'm ready. I got a tough guy in front of me. I'm not worried about Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor, whose belt has what. All I'm worried about is December 10th.
One more question for each of you. We talked about the winner of this fight getting the interim title, and you know who that is. Jose Aldo is what's next for both of you guys, not looking past each other, obviously. But is there any luster off of Jose Aldo after, being knocked out for 13 seconds? Max, for you saying that he's not taking the fights that have been offered. Is that mystique gone with Jose Aldo, the Aldo that there was 2 years ago that dominated the division? Is there a different feel, like there's a vulnerability there for whoever wins this fight coming through it?
I don't know, man. I ain't friends with the guy. I don't follow him on social media or whatever. I don't talk to him. I don't see the stuff he posts or I have a conversation with the guy. So who knows what's going through his mind? Only his coaches and only himself, But we see what happens. We see what happens. We see what happens after December 10th, and we find out. We're gonna go out there. You guys are gonna get a great fight, and after December 10th, we see what's up with that guy's mind.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Jose Aldo is still Jose Aldo, man. Everybody loses, even the greatest loses sometimes. And he lost, 13 seconds that we did to Conor McGregor. He still has the history that he had. He was a dominant champ for a long time. It's not like he just all of a sudden he sucks because he got knocked out by Conor McGregor. So for me, it's just I want to whoever's the next in line to become that champion of 2 weight classes. That's where I'm at. It's my goal. It's my passion, my drive right now. And whoever it is, I'll figure it out after this fight.
Thanks, both of you guys. Good luck on the 10th. Thank you.
Thanks, bro.
Thank you.
And Damon Martin of Fox Sports has our next question.
Yeah, a couple questions for Max. Max, I'm just kind of curious. Now that you've been prepared for Anthony for a while, what did you think of his fight with Charles Oliveira?
I ain't judging him. I ain't judging him off his last fight. The weight cut can be hard. He's at 55 for forever, and in the weight cut and the trials and errors. So, like I said before, man, I'm telling everybody, man, I ain't judging him off that last fight. I'm getting ready for the best Anthony Pettis in the world, and that's why I'm stuffed. And, I know he's getting ready for the best Holloway. He's going to run into a motherfucker in Max Holloway come December 10th. So, I ain't judging him off for that one fight, man. That would be silly.
When you look at the stylistic matchup, both of you guys are best known as strikers and kind of knockout artists. But is it too hard to really break it down that simply and say that this is going to be a stand-up fight? Do you look at this fight and believe that you can submit him, believe that you can out-wrestle him? Where do you feel like you are better than him everywhere? Yeah,
you gotta believe in yourself, and that's what you gotta have. If you don't have self-belief, then who the frick is gonna believe in you? And yeah, it's more to meet the eye with us. Yeah, everybody see the flashy moves and this and that and our striking, but don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. We're mixed martial artists. It's not a kickboxing match. It's not a jiu-jitsu match. It's not a wrestling match. We do it all, and I like to say we both at the top of our divisions for a reason, because we know how to do it all. And I'm getting ready for a fight. I'm getting in there. We're gonna get the damn thing done, and I think, man. Tune in December 10th, man. It's going to be an amazing fight, and the fans are going to be in for a treat.
And last question for you, Max. This is not to swing back around to the Conor McGregor thing, but my question is this: when George St. Pierre left welterweight, when he retired or walked away from the sport, his specter kind of hung around that division for a little while. And I think Robbie Lawler going out there and having some big wins kind of erased him a little bit from the memory. What do you feel like is what's it going to take for this division to move forward and kind of forget about Conor or kind of move past Conor?
We gotta go. We gotta go out there and do our damn things. It is what it is. Conor set the bar, and I'm here to beat it. I want to beat it. That's the bar we gotta beat. That's the bar I'm reaching for, and I have all intentions of smashing it. So we see what happens. First things first. First step is December 10th, and that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Same question for you, Anthony, just because, obviously you come from the lightweight division. For a long time, everyone talked about BJ Penn in that division. How is it for you? What is it going to take for the featherweights to move on to where we aren't asking you questions about Conor McGregor, or are we always going to ask you questions about Conor McGregor?
Yeah, I mean, when there's a guy like that around in the sport, and if he's still fighting, of course he's still going to be relevant. Him making that, I know what it takes to make that weight cut to 145 pounds. Conor, I think, is very similar to my body size and my length, my reach. I think, it's a tough lifestyle change to get down to 145 pounds. I don't think with him holding that lightweight belt, it doesn't really make sense for him to keep cutting down to 145 pounds. This is not healthy. So I think, until he starts doing what he's doing to do a lightweight or figure out what's going to happen, maybe if he doesn't win a lightweight, he moves back down to 45. Who knows what happens with Conor McGregor? But, if a guy like that is around and he's still fighting, he's definitely still relevant.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
And we will take our final question from Jordan Wahlberger of 1049 The Horn.
Hey, guys. Thanks a lot for the time. Anthony, for you first. Anthony, this is your second cut back down to featherweight. You've also had some issues, obviously, with the house and the fire with the cars. Daniel Cormier gets injured last week, and I know there was a concern that, hey, they might cancel the card altogether. How are you kind of doing mentally, and any of this being present a challenge to you, so close to this fight?
Nah, man, my life's been a roller coaster. Highest highs, lowest lows. The car situation, no idea what it was about. I don't feel unsafe in my hometown. I definitely took the necessary, moves to make sure my family's safe. But it is what it is. I mean, no one really made threats. I wasn't really I didn't know what to think of it. So it's not like it really messed me up mentally, or I'm like, I gotta watch out for me doing this and doing this. I feel just like I felt like before in Milwaukee. I got businesses here. I got family here. I'm out in the city always, so that really didn't do anything to me. The DC situation, you never know what the UFC is going to do. You've seen cars get canceled before. You've seen things happen, but it didn't work out that way. We had an interim title. I got a tough opponent in front of me, and at one of the main events. So it's more like Merry Christmas to me.
Sure. Thank you for that. And just the last question, and this is for both of you, and I'll go to Max first. And this is just a quick follow-up on Kel's question earlier. There's been a lot of criticism on using the term undisputed. This call started off by calling Aldo undisputed champion. Max, do you consider Aldo the undisputed champion based on kind of what happened, 11 months ago with him and Conor, and just overall kind of how this whole situation's been handled?
Man, UFC gave him the title. The title says undisputed. You can't deny him, and it is what it is. He got the belt, I'm fucking. I need to go out there December 10th, handle business, get what's mine, and go get that undisputed one. So it is what it is. I ain't no hater on the guy. He got the damn thing. He had the interim. They gave him the real one now, and that's what it is. Everybody crying this and that. You guys are not gonna change it with all you guys whining. Fucking stop whining and do something with your guys' own life and move on.
All right, thanks, Anthony. Second question to you.
Yeah, I think Jose Aldo is like I said before, he's had a great career before Conor McGregor. There's a reason why Conor let this happen. I mean, if Conor really wanted to fight at 445 pounds again, he would have done it and defended his title. So it's not up to Jose Aldo, it's not up to Conor McGregor, it's not up to me or Max, who's the undisputed champ. So we're just doing our job. We're going out there fighting these fights and trying to prove we're the best in the world. And if that guy's there and the opportunity's there, we're best believe all of us will take it.
I understand. Hey, thanks, guys, for the time, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
And that does conclude our question and answer session for today. I would like to turn it back over to our host.
Thank you. And thank you to Max Holloway, and thank you to Anthony Pettis.